In today's video, we'll be talking about money. We'll be talking about savings, investments. This video is dedicated to people who are low income earners. I'm talking about people who work at retailers, people who are cashiers, people who are petrol attendants, people who are cleaners, everyone basically who's actually a general worker or is considered to earn low income. I know money is not something that is taught at schools, at universities, even at home. People don't like to talk about money actually. Our parents don't know how the money works. I just want us to think money as a tool for freedom, as a tool for security, instead of bringing emotions when it comes to money. Firstly, I want us to change our mindset when it comes to money. I know maybe you have been told to hoard the money. I want you to stop hoarding the money. Money is meant to flow. It needs to move. Basically, I want us to stop thinking negative about money. I want you to have a positive mindset, especially when it comes to money. You don't have to be triggered, especially when people are talking about money. I want you to have goals when it comes to money. I want you to think that anything is possible. Anything that you want, once you set your mind into it, you are going to get it. Maybe you're not working and you're thinking that maybe you'll never reach your goals. I want you to stop thinking like that and be positive, especially when it comes to money, because there are so many ways to make money. You don't have to work for somebody, you can work for yourself. You can have businesses. I want you to set financial goals. It's very important to set financial goals, especially when you are saving. You need to know why are you saving. Maybe you want to save money to buy a furniture, or maybe you are saving money, you want to buy a car. Maybe you want to build a home or renovate your home. So I want you to write down that goal, list all your goals. Or maybe you want to buy clothes, maybe you don't have clothes. Or maybe you are saving for your kids because you don't want them to struggle. Maybe you want to buy a camera, maybe you're a content creator, you want to have a microphone. I want you to write down all those things. I want you to write down your financial goals right now so that you know exactly how much you need to have in order to buy whatever that you want to buy. Another thing that you need to do is to know exactly where you are starting. Once you know exactly where you are starting, it's very easy to write down your goals because you know where you are starting. The most important thing is to budget. Budgeting is very important. Possible right now, I want you to pause this video, get your monthly bank statement, and also get your salary slip so that you will know your debts. If you've got financial products that you are paying at work, how much are you paying? Know exactly how much you are contributing for your pension fund. Money is just about numbers. Money is just a tool for freedom. Your bank statement and your payslip will give you an idea what are your expenses, how much you pay for grocery, all things like that, and you will know exactly how much you are paying for your debts. Every month you must budget. You must budget for your petrol, especially if you are working and you are using your own car, how much you are spending for petrol. Let's say maybe you have debts and you don't know where to start and you don't know whether if it's okay for you to start budgeting. One thing I can tell you, it's very important to budget. Once you start budgeting, you'll have a clear understanding where your money is going. Maybe it will be much easier for you to finish your debts just by adjusting a few things. You'll stop recklessly spending and you'll stop impulse buying. I want you to track your financial progress. It's very important to adjust your financial goals. Maybe when you started budgeting, you could not save money, but now you are able to save money. That's an improvement because when you started, you had nothing to save because now you understand where your money is going. You are more wiser. You don't spend on unnecessary things. Like for an example, if you are working, you might see your colleague wearing nice clothes, or maybe they bought a bag. Then you feel like I also need that bag. You're gonna go and buy that bag without understanding where you are in terms of your money. Maybe you don't have money to buy that bag. So why do you want to spend recklessly? You need to stop impulse buying. Once you become wiser about spending your money, you'll realize that it's very important to cook at home instead of buying takeaways. Especially if you are working, you'll stop buying your lunch, you'll just break your lunch. And also set time frames for your financial goals because you'll be more motivated once you see that you are actually achieving your goals slowly. And most importantly, you need to know your credit score. One might say I'm not making any debt. I've never had any debt in my life. I think my credit score is very high. You'll be very surprised because if you don't have any history of debts, the banks and lenders will be having doubts about you because you have never had any debt. They don't know if you'll be able to pay them in time and they do not trust you. So if you have never had any debt, I suggest just start small. Just go and make a credit card. But I want someone who's very disciplined. If you want to go to that route of having a credit card, you need to be a disciplined person because one thing you know, you won't be able to pay your credit card and you'll be drowning in debts. Credit cards were made for those people who are disciplined enough, people who are not spending recklessly. And credit cards can be very beneficial if you are using them in a correct way. Basically, a credit score is more like a financial report where if you want to go and borrow money, maybe you want to buy a house, or maybe you want to buy a car, or maybe you want to buy a furniture. So, what the bank will do once you go there and borrow, they will check your credit score. If they see that you're not paying your debts in time, sometimes you miss payments, they are not going to borrow your money because your credit score is very bad. So if you are having debts, it's very important to manage them effectively. Pay your debts on time. Make sure you pay your debts in time and stop going around making debts knowing exactly that you cannot pay them. Another thing that is important, especially if you are working, is to have emergency fund. Emergency fund would be your monthly expenses. Let's say maybe your monthly expenses are like 3,000 Rand, 5,000 Rand, whatever the amount. You need to start saving for rainy days. You'll never know. The company tomorrow might say they no longer need you. They are going to use AI, or maybe the company is liquidated. It doesn't have money anymore. So you are being retrenched. What are you going to do in a situation like that? Maybe you've got debts. What are you going to do with your debts? So I think it's very important to create an emergency fund. To start maybe an emergency fund for like 2 months, for 6 months, for 12 months. So let's say your emergency fund is just 5,000 Rand. And you want to create emergency fund for 6 months, you will just say 5,000 Rand of your expenses times 6 months. It will give you that amount. So you'll have to save that total amount for 6 months, or you can take it further for 12 months, especially if you are paying mortgage or maybe you are paying for your car. You won't have to worry at least for 6 months or for a year while you are looking for something else. Last but not least is investment. Investing is very important. Nowadays, it's more easier to invest and buy shares or stocks. If you are confused about investment, I'm just going to make an example about Capitec Bank. When Capitec Bank was listed on JSE, their shares were about 275, I'm not too sure. I think it was 2002, almost 3 Rand. Now they are valued 2,000 Rand now, or 1,900. Imagine if you bought maybe 20 shares or 10 shares back back in the days, or maybe you bought like 100 shares. How much should be valued right now in terms of your shares? Maybe by now you'll be a millionaire, you don't know. So I think it's very important to do research, especially if you want to invest. Investment basically is where you invest your money and you're hoping to make more money. I can call this channel an investment. YouTube is just a free platform. I don't have to pay anything to post my videos. But once I meet the requirements of YouTube Partnership Program, where they are paying creators, I can actually make money just by posting my videos. And I can actually get sponsorship by just posting videos here on YouTube. That's an investment because I did not spend a lot of money. It's just my phone. I don't have to worry about so many costs. I just need the internet to upload the videos. So I can basically call this channel an investment. At any moment, this channel can go viral. You can also start a business. You can just start small. Maybe your community doesn't have people who are selling vegetables. You can start by selling vegetables. I want you to think investment in that way. There's easy equity platform where you can buy shares. If you don't know what to buy, just think about the things that you use on a daily basis and check the companies that are listed on JSE and start investing. That's it. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you have found any value, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Bye.